I want you to hear this. This is the brother Munir. He was doing a little insinuating, and I thought I would let you hear some of it. I like to let someone else start it. I always like to finish. So I'm going to start it by where he started talking. But I ain't going to, where he was talking about some of...
You know, see, you hit it on the head again. See, you're the reason that coexist. Now, think about what you said. An audience, if you're there, think about that. Philip Jackson said he came up and down 79th Street. He remembered Temple number 2, probably on Greenwood. But he didn't say he joined. He didn't say he had the FOI uniform on. So there were some things he couldn't quite complete. So after his departure, somebody want to know, do you remember those good things? And I'm saying not the Muslims, because they've already co-opted us. We buried it, and we allowed him to be buried. So if we could get people like you to bear witness. Somebody said one day about, well, I'll just put it right out here. Craig Hodges was a friend of ours. We still see him as a friend. Used to come by Crow all the time. And he would purchase books on the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and some said he was doing it for some of the members of the team who didn't know the way down here. I didn't want to be seen down here, but they loved it. His brother, a professional basketball player, was across the street. They black, they like us, but they know that you can't go too far because of the people being willing to cut off your bread.
Yes, sir.
Now, if a man making $10, $20 million, now the money may not be just for him, it's for all the people that he's helping.
Yes, sir.
See, we don't believe in capacity. So if a person don't stand up the way a person think they should stand up, they want to dictate to how they should act, we'll never get to people. Now, I've had more people to bear witness over the years that were not Muslims to come up and say, I didn't know the Honorable Elijah Muhammad did this or did that, because we got their attention. Mm-hmm. They saw the relationships of the people on the front line. Like you say, you were in the street. You're not the only one that passed out leaflets. We went door to door. You know, there are people who refer to us as arrogant. I remember the minister told me once, said, I remember when you started, you didn't look like this, suggesting that I'm looking prosperous now, you know. But look, I had alligator shoes on walking door to door when we first started. I had a pair of them, you know, a pair, you know.
Stacey Adams.
No, but my point, that our people have such short memories, brother. And it's what you did for me lately. And that beautiful young girl sing that song, what have you done for me lately? And so I can do stuff 7 days a week, and it doesn't mean anything. And if you live long enough, let me just tell you this. They say imitation is flattery. Something like that. But when I learned that this talk show forum, people were sorry that they didn't come up with it first.
Yes, sir.
5,000 shows, and I look at our technical crew. I have to boast on these. Now, you know what it is. You've been down the case.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I think that we have the best crew that has ever existed. And I can recall when we had a couple of people, and we still have Bill Kodomsky, for people who don't know, because Bill refused to leave us. You understand? Because he speaks highly of what we do. He said we're the most professional group. Now, I know they don't like to hear that at cable. Now, we used to have a guy who thought we couldn't do without it. And I have to say, but he has lived to say he was wrong. My point is that we were trained, you know, to do this kind of work. We have people that worked at it night and day. And I applaud them for doing it. We've even allowed them to help other people. Now, what am I saying to you? What kind of group that wouldn't be happy to have that as their own? You know, that's what we used to have this conversation with the minister. You do what you do, we're going to do what we do, but we're going to work together. Now they write about us as this divisive hate group. They write about us as these bigots and murderers. You know, they put, you know, which is really painful to hear people call you something that you're not. But this is what they did to the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. So we're in good company. But when you're called those things by your own, I got a guy who called himself God, man. Can you imagine a Negro walking around with a dress on and a long cover with dark glasses on, calling himself God? We can't even see him. He can't talk, you understand? But he wants to criticize us and our work, and all the time been trying to emulate us. He want to be just like us. So what his claim to fame is, he go out and interview a person who he think is a celebrity and throw that up at us. Well, look, we got to be able to see the screen, the technical, everything.
I mean, I don't know nobody else out teaching with, they say I got, what did he say, shades or tinted glass? What did he say? Let's make sure we heard him right. I don't like to put words in people's mouth. Because if he wasn't talking about me, I don't want to. I remember one time my brother, Sonny, he used to love to fight, man. And Sonny got in a fight with this brother over a coat that really, I don't think it was Sonny's coat. But he took the coat anyway. And, you know, he ain't had no good luck. That's my older brother, but he ain't had no good luck. You can't go around just because you can doing something. You know, now, I learned that lesson through watching people that knew they could beat up on somebody, and instead of handling that with dignity, they handled it with in an undignified manner. Became almost what you call today bullies. You know. But the one thing I will give him credit for, he would fight anybody. He didn't care who you were. So it wasn't a thing that he just go and pick on somebody that he thought he could whoop. He just fight anybody. And but anyway, I don't know nobody else that, I mean, he's scared to even call my name. I don't know what he said it. That nigga called himself the son of man. I mean, you just well too. I mean, you talking about. Let me see here. Maybe he wasn't talking about me.
Think they should stand up. They want to dictate to how they should act, or we'll never get the people. Now, I've had more people to bear witness over the years that were not Muslims to come up and say, I didn't know the Honorable Elijah Muhammad did this or did that, because we got their attention. They saw the relationships of the people on the front line. Like you say, you were in the street. You're not the only one that passed out leaflets. We went door to door. There are people who refer to us as arrogant. I remember the minister told me once, said, I remember when you started, you didn't look like this, suggesting that I'm looking prosperous now, But I had alligator shoes on walking door to door when we first started. I had a pair of them, a pair,
Stacey Adams.
No, but my point, that our people have such short memories, brother. And it's what you did for me lately. And that beautiful young girl sing that song, what have you done for me lately? And so I can do stuff 7 days a week, and it doesn't mean anything. And if you live long enough, let me just tell you this. They say imitation is flattery. Something like that. But when I learned that this talk show forward, people were sorry that they didn't come up with it first.
Yes, sir.
5,000 shows, and I look at our technical crew. I have to boast on these. Now, you know what it is. You've been down the case.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I think that we have the best crew that has ever existed. And I can recall when we had a couple of people, and we still have Bill Kodomsky, for people who don't know, because Bill refused to leave us. You understand? Because he speaks highly of what we do. He said we're the most professional group. Now, I know they don't like to hear that at cable. Now, we used to have a guy who thought we couldn't do without it. And I have to say, but he has lived to say he was wrong. My point is that we were trained, to do this kind of work. We have people that worked at it night and day. And I applaud them for doing it. We've even allowed them to help other people. Now, what am I saying to you? What kind of group that wouldn't be happy to have that as their own. You know, that's what we used to have this conversation with the minister. You do what you do, we're going to do what we do, but we're going to work together. Now they write about us as this divisive hate group. They write about us as these bigots and murderers. You know, they put, you know, which is really painful to hear people call you something that you're not. But
you know, I'm not. As he was going there, he told on himself just now, as the messenger had already fussed us out. Well, not us, because I wasn't there when he was fussing. But he said, you are the most silliest people that ever lived on earth. He said, you don't want no leadership. The Holy Quran teaches me this, that every one of you wants pages spread out for itself. What did he say he told the minister? He said, you do yours, and we're going to do what we do. He said, we'll work together some kind of, but, you know, he wasn't going to, you know, none of them want nobody to lead them. And so instead of insinuating, see now, if you know why you know why they say the stuff that they say, and don't call your name. So when you call them on, they can say, "Man, I ain't said nothing about you." Well, who else do you know of that's people got offended because I have tinted lenses in my glasses? What's the? You know anybody else that they did that to? This first time anybody told me I was wearing a dress. But he didn't say that this fella called himself the Son of Man. But why don't he say it? You see, if you are big enough to talk about somebody, why don't you be big enough to say who you're talking about? And he said that he thinks he's God. Just a moment. Let me let you hear him now.
This is what they did to the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. So we're in good company, but when you're called those things by your own. I got a guy who called himself God, man. Can you imagine a Negro walking around with a dress on and a long cover with dark glasses on, calling himself God? We can't even see him. He can't talk, you understand? But he wants to criticize us and our work, and all the time been trying to emulate us. He want to be...
Now, did y'all hear that? Do you know anybody else that's, been standing up telling the whole world that they the Son of Man, and the Scriptures say that the Son of Man is Lord, and the Scriptures say the Son of Man, if he's Lord, he's God. Now, that ain't something that I said. I told you that's what the Scripture said. But now, just a moment. Now, he claimed that he's lifting up the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Isn't that right? Yes. Listen to this. Now, you talk about hypocrisy.
Thank you. My beloved brothers and sisters, we have here today a very beautiful day from Allah. To you that is visiting us, that we know and that we don't know. Some of you, we don't know you. You may make yourself known to us so you can receive the honor from us for visiting us today. We are a people that does not think that we are big God. We think we are little you and not big God. Yes, sir. We're so greatly blessed by Allah and by you visiting us that we cannot help but to be happy and proud of your presence.
Thank you, Elder Apostle.
There may be some of you that is some great dignitary that we don't know. You're welcome to make yourself known to us that we may be able to give you credit for what you are.
Yes, sir.
And that we want to say to you that is visiting us, that probably come from overseas. We want you to know that you at the setting of the sun.
Yes, sir.
But that sun is rising again.
Yes, sir.
It's that, but she rising again.
Yes,
Bringing us in a new day. The coming of God. The coming of our faith.
Go ahead, Apostle.
He's not a spook. I want you to know that we are trying our best since we have met face to face with God to try to remove from you that old idea that God is some spirit that is formless. We want you to get out of that old slavery idea. If you call God Balcona, He, you feel pretty cheap calling him she. You feel pretty cheap just to say spirit. You've got to say he.
Right.
I'm here to tell you that he's not a she, nor is he some formless spirit. The Bible says on the day of judgment, you'll see God as he is.
Right.
This is the day that I can gladly say that he is a he. There is many people who have not known God. And there's many people that know God. Their white race knows God. But they can't represent God as you and me do as they will be given away the power to rule. There was not the rule under the teachings of reality of God. There was made to hide the reality of God in order that they themselves will be worshipped.
Yes, sir.
I don't get angry with them the way that they rule and what they teach. How in the world can they teach and turn us away from the God of reality? If they intend to rule, they got to take us away from that. Because we got the reality. Right. Every time you look at a black man, you're looking at God. Right. Some of us will say, oh no, I know God and you know God. Okay, get your God out and show him to me.
Okay, Munir. Get your God out and show him to me. You know, you have to be careful what you accuse a person of. You accuse me of saying the same thing that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad was saying, and you claim you want to lift him up. Huh? Didn't he tell you that the black man is God? He just didn't tell you which one of us. But he did tell you that it shall come to pass that one of you will say be, and we will have something different. It could be 100, it could be 1,000, it could be 1,000,000 years from now. It will come to pass. He did say that. What Munir said? Munir said, can you imagine it? Let's see here.
So we're going to work together. Now they write about us as this divisive hate group. They write about us as these bigots and murderers. You know, they put, which is really painful to hear people call you something that you're not. But this is what they did to the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. So we're in good company. But when you're called those things,
the Honorable Elijah Muhammad is the one that said the black man is God. Huh? Now, what Munir talking about? Let's listen to him here.
By your own. I got a guy who called himself God, man. Can you imagine a Negro walking around with a dress on and a long cover with dark glasses on, called himself God? We can't even see him. He can't talk.
But he sure been looking at me. Is that right? And he's upset because I'm wearing what I designed. Isn't that something? He wearing what who designed? Plus he bragged on his alligator shoes. Man, I was wearing alligator shoes back when I was 18 years old. Man, that stuff don't faze me. I had Longines watches and rings to match and all that old stuff. That stuff don't faze me. Now, I gave that stuff away. You know I gives away money. I ain't think about no. That stuff don't excite me. I ain't never been a person that didn't know how to go get some money. And didn't have to go steal it, didn't have to rob nobody. I've always worked. Buying my clothes when I was 13 years old. Running a buffer and knowing how to do cleaning and all that stuff. I knew how to do that when I was 13. So, you know, this man who claimed he's lifting up the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, now he's sitting there getting indignant because he hear a man saying that a man is God. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad said that a long time before I ever thought to think that. He didn't ask the question. I bet you he got the student enrollment. The student enrollment, the first question on there is, who is the original man? Well, before you can get some like it, don't you have to first get an original? Come on, talk to me. See, I wish he'd come on in here, and he probably in here listening, but he ain't saying nothing. They ain't like you. Man, if a man give me a chance to come in, I wish they'd invite me into their arena. You remember when, what's his name? What's that brother name that interviewed me that time? He got a show. What's his name? He's in New York, I think. Lance Shabazz. When Lance Shabazz wanted to interview me, I wasn't hard to find. I didn't go to ducking. I told him, sure, whenever you want. And it was Tuesday afternoon or something it was, and I stopped what I was doing to do that interview. By all means, I'm not teaching something that I'm scared to be questioned on. Now, if he got a problem with me, what should he do like a man? You don't talk about a man behind his back when he's there ready to talk to you your face. Huh? Now, he got a problem with a man being God, but he didn't seem to have no problem with Honorable Elijah Muhammad said it. And the student enrollment question was, it says, who is the original man? And the answer is, the original man is, not was. See, if you say was, you're talking about a long time ago. Who was the first man? But if you ask who is the original man, you're talking about something right now. You're talking about something that's relevant to what the Scripture says. It does not yet appear what we shall be, but we shall be like him. Like who? The original. The original is always the first one. That's why the messenger said, in the first place, one God was the God of the universe. In the last place, one God is the God of the universe. They didn't hear that either, I guess. And there's a lot of them sitting up out there now. I just taught them something just now. And you notice, when one of them say something and I get wind of it, I invite them and say, come on in here. I do them like Ali told Sonny Liston. You come on in this ring with me. That's what he told him. Somebody went out to get a soda pop and they got back and the fight was over. And they swore up and down it was fixed. Man, he ain't knocked Sonny Liston out there quick, and then he did it again. So, you know, I have fun teaching. I like teaching. But you little rocks in your pocket people. What he said, Negro walking around here calling himself God. Huh? Well, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, the one taught me that that's who I am. Was he lying? Come on, who said he was lying? Come in here and prove that I ain't the Lord. Now, it's a quick way to do that. All you got to do is show that you have greater knowledge than me. When it comes to religious subject matter and that kind of thing, we got, you know what this is called? It's called Holy Bible. The Word of who? Of God. Now, This is called Holy Quran. And what is it? It's the Word of God. So Allah said, Son of man, take the book and eat it. If you got a cake there, and you heat it up, where's that cake now? It's in you, right? You the cake. Is that right? Okay. He told me to eat it up. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, if you want to talk to Allah after he taught me that Allah is all of us, he said, Allah is all of us. I know what else he's talking about. He's talking about all of the messengers of God collectively. He said, Allah is all of us. He said, now if you want to talk to Allah, read the scripture. Read the Quran. And when I read the Quran tells me that it's a reminder of that which came before it, of the Torah and the Gospel. And then it mentions David, and it mentions Lot, it mentions Abraham, it mentions Moses. And then if I want to know something about Moses and David and Lot and all of them, I have to go and read the Bible. Do you understand? But I had already been reading the Bible all my life. So that wasn't nothing new to me. Can't you tell I know the Bible? From the time I was a little child. And Allah knew I would know it. That's why he said that from a child thou hast known the Holy Scriptures, which is able to make you wise unto salvation. He wrote that specifically to me. You see? And so, I wanted to gradually walk. You notice when I told the priest that he was telling me God was evolving, I said, oh, wait a minute now. Evolve means change. Scripture says, I change not. Well, where is that? Well, the 27 years he's been teaching. And he don't know yet that God does not evolve? And as long as you keep trying to give your own understanding to God's Word, you're going to keep on evolving. But you're going to keep on evolving into something that is not what Allah intended. Do you understand? Can the creature make himself? No, sir, you cannot. It says, let us make man. It says, let man make himself. So it's much that you got to learn. But the first thing you need to learn is about all of these people who are too cowardly to stand up and defend what they teach. You need to understand the difference in knowing and believing. You need to know the difference between a mind that is built up on facts and a mind that is built and basing its understanding on misunderstanding facts. Do you understand? It's just like the highest of any order we call supreme. As you notice, the scripture has many words for the Lord or the God of men. The Most High, the Best Knower. It's many, many things. You have to know which Allah is being referred to there. For Allah, He is the truth. But He is also the best knower of the truth. Do you understand? And that's what people don't understand. You see, that He and His messenger are what? One. That's right. The mind is one with the word that makes it. If it's not at one with the word that makes it, the word condemns it. Huh? That's right. You see? So we have to agree. The mind and the word and the even the written word, the spoken word, and the mind, those three have to agree. Do you understand? The flesh is nothing but a temple. That's all. You see, it's an instrument. That's all. You see. Now, when you look at this man, he do all that talk, and he condemned himself by the way he talked, what he was talking. I'll show you what I'm talking about. I think that's far enough back, I think.
But we're going to work together. Now they write about us as this divisive hate group. They write about us as these bigots and murderers. You know, they put, you know, which is really painful to hear people call you something that you're not. But this is what they did to the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. So we're in good company. But when you're called those things by your own, I got a guy who called himself God, man. Can you imagine a Negro walking around with a dress on and a long cover with dark glasses on, calling himself God? We can't even see him. He can't talk, you understand? But he wants to criticize us and our work, and all the time been trying to emulate us. He want to be just like us. So what his claim to fame is, he go out and interview.
Tell me something. What is Munir doing? He got a radio, television, internet thing. I started being on the radio and stuff back in the 80s. Now, as far as emulate him, if I was trying to emulate him, we wouldn't have no land, we wouldn't have no no automotive facility, we wouldn't have no bakery, we wouldn't have no tailoring facility, we wouldn't have no school. If I was trying to emulate him, you know, many times, just like the political people, they misrepresent President Obama. They try to suggest that President Obama, if the economy is not better, then he can forget it. What about what happened down in the Gulf? What about what happened in New Jersey? What about what happened in Joplin, Missouri? What about the fact that he's now at least got the people without the cooperation of Congress? Now remember you remember what I told you. You know, I don't like to see nobody get a bum rap, right? You know, if somebody can come in here and show me, you know, I let people show me something, but you ain't gonna tell me what I'm looking at. You can show me something, but don't tell me how I'm supposed to interpret what I'm looking at. Now, I know the shape I ain't forgot the shape that this country was in when it was in such bad shape that even when somebody tried to run the president down, when he was running for office, John McCain told him, no, he'd make a good president. You remember that? Now that they think it's all lovely, he ain't no good president no more, huh? I mean, they wanted to dump it all on him, and then not only, I remember Michael Moore said something about how the Republicans got together and decided they was going to make him the invisible president. I ain't forgot that. These ain't black people talking. These are the Caucasian people talking about what they heard Caucasian people saying in Congress and whatnot. And if you're going to blame something on me, it's like I tell people all the time now. Now, here's a good example. If something happened to one of my followers, and no matter where you at, I got to come see about it. Now, that's just how it is. You know, I'm not talking about following with your mouth. I'm talking about if you really followed me. You know why I got to come see about it? Because wherever you are, I approved you going. Because you was my follower, and you checked with me before you left. And if I approved you going, I remember the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. He said, if you go to any country, he said, any place on the world in the world, and tell them that you are my follower, if they don't respect you, you come back and see me. And I will pay your way back over there and go with you. And ask them why not. That man was something, brother. You know, anybody can't just come up behind a messenger of God. The mere fact I'm able to stand up and talk to you for hours and hours and play his tapes and then start talking to you behind his tapes and keep your interest is proof that I must be somebody. And you know, so many people trying to convince you that I ain't know. Whose lights on out there? Is somebody leaving? Who is that? Okay. Well, if I'm such a nobody, how everybody know what I got on and all this stuff? I mean, he know me, obviously. He don't like my glasses. Somebody can't see me. You know, they done bought into that thing about the eyes are mirrors to the soul. They don't know what that's talking about. If you think you can look in somebody's eyes and tell what's on their mind, how come they couldn't look in John Edwards' eyes and tell what he was like? I mean, what are you? I mean, the eyes are mirrors to the real soul. Because Jesus said the light of the body is the eye. And he said, and as long as I'm in the world, I'm the light of the world. Well, the messengers of God were true reflections of the soul that Allah wanted to dwell in man, of the mind, of the state that man is supposed to be. Do you understand? If you wanted to know what you were supposed to be, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad used to say it like this. People would compliment him, and he taught us, he said, I'm just a reflection of yourself, brother. Just a reflection of yourself. You wanna know what's really in you to be and become? Look at the messengers of God. You see? They are mirrors to the soul. They are mirrors for you to look at and gauge how you look. Do you understand? Have you noticed ever since some of y'all tried to set up court on me, I'll start pulling the cover off all these people that you call yourself going to run to. Oh, yeah? Go to them. They'll fix you. You don't believe on the outside of dogs? Go to them. They will fix you. You know, there's a lot of things that I could say, but my man won't none of them come in and talk to me. I wonder why not. They talking to these fellas. He interviewed talking to this other fella. Huh? Did I cut the priest off? Or did I let him talk? But when the questions started getting a little deeper, time started running out. And people telling me, well, we about out of time now. We about out of time. And this is my broadcast here. But, no, we ain't out of time. It's just that, I doubt if he'll be back. But you can try. I do want to try to get him back in here. I was as soft and gentle with him as I could possibly be, because I wanted to, let him gradually see that, the things that used to go ain't going no more. You can't just come in here and say anything. You tell me God is evolving, you just messed up. No, the truth ain't evolving into anything. You are discovering truth, but the truth is always been there, has always been, and will always be. Don't need nothing added to it, and can't take nothing from it. And my God is the truth. The irresistible force. And once that irresistible force took up residence in me, I became the immovable object. That's right. Like a tree planted by the rivers of water. What? I know you know it. Huh? Yeah. So, Allah's word is the shield and the buckler of all who put their trust in Allah. That's right. So, poor Munir, he sit up and he say things and he manifests that he never did believe in the teachings of the messenger. Because, look at this statement. He almost making mockery of what the messenger said about the black man. Look, I like to give justice, man. And you can't get away from this.
Bill Kadomski, for people who don't know, because Bill refused to leave us. You understand? Because he speaks highly of what we do. He said we're the most professional group. Now, I know they don't like to hear that at cable. Now, we used to have a guy who thought we couldn't do without it. And I have to say, but he has lived to say he was wrong. My point is that we were trained, to do this kind of work. We have people that worked at it night and day. And I applaud them for doing it. We've even allowed them to help other people. Now, what am I saying to you? What kind of group that wouldn't be happy to have that as their own? That's what we used to have this conversation with the minister. You do what you do, we're going to do what we do, but we're going to work together. Now they write about us as this divisive hate group. They write about us as these bigots and murderers. You know, they put, you know, which is really painful to hear people call you something that you're not. But this is what they did to the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. So we're in good company. But when you're called those things by your own, I got a guy who called himself God, man. Can you imagine a Negro walking around with a dress on and a long cover with dark glasses on, calling himself God? We can't.
Now let's see here.
In order that they themselves will be worshipped. Yes, sir. I don't get angry with them the way that they rule and what they teach. How in the world can they teach and turn us away from the God of reality? If they intend to rule, they got to take us away from them. Because we got the reality. Right. Every time you look at a black man, you're looking at God. Right. Come over and say, oh no, I know God and you know God. Okay, get your God out and show him to me. You can't do that. You'll say that God is a spirit. Show him to me. You cannot show me your spirit, God. Then you say he's not to be seen. Well, then I don't want to see him if he don't want to see me. That which we know. What? You worship that which you know not. We're not going to hold your attention to this kind of subject. We got lots of work here to do. For 43 years, I have been teaching that God is man. For 43 years, I have been teaching that one day you will wake up to know, you will wake up and agree with me. From the looks of your numbers here today, it seems that you're waking up. Yes, sir.
What did Munir say? A Negro calling himself God? The messenger said, for 43 years I've been teaching you that God is man. How come Munir didn't tell him that? He was sitting up pretending to believe it. But, listen, I mean,
we're going to work together. Now they write about us as this divisive hate group. They write about us as these bigots and murderers. You know, they put, you know, which is really painful to hear people call you something that you're not. But this is what they did to the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. So we're in good company. But when you're called those things by your own, I got a guy who called himself God, man. Can you imagine a Negro walking around with a dress on and a long cover with dark glasses on, called himself God. We can.
Okay. Was he talking about the Honorable Elijah Muhammad or me? Who was he talking about? Huh? How about it, Munir? I know you're listening. Y'all make sure you tell him that what part of what the messenger was teaching about God that he didn't agree with. He out there selling the tapes and stuff and claiming that he believed the messenger. Hypocrisy will show through, won't it? You know what the messenger said? He said we have to rid the earth of open and secret enemies. You know, people that secretly hate you, secretly disagree while openly they say they believe. But when they get along with their devils, they say, we's only mocking, we really with you. Now, who sound like they making mockery? Who was mocking? You can't hide today. You know why they don't hide? Because I'm easy to get along with. It's easy to stumble over something that you don't see. Oh yeah. That's what you usually stumble over. It can be there in plain sight, but you take it for granted. It don't look like a curb. Don't look like much, but it'll sure break your toe. Won't it? Break your knee too if you going too fast and fall on it. Break your head open because you stumble over it. You should have respected it. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad told you that ain't nobody coming behind him but God. He said, I better tell you that. Why are you surprised that it's a black man standing up telling you that he's God? You the one said you believed the messenger. Now, it's a quick way to make light work of me. Just come in here and show me in the Word of God that I done messed up, that I'm mistaken. You got some of them that, you know them things that people said about why don't he do this, or so-and-so could fix him. I told the Prince, I told Brother Jamal, all of the people that got all these negative things to say and say that I don't know what I'm talking about and that they know somebody who can come in here and shut me down, I told him to tell them to please get them in here so that I don't have to be standing up here doing something that is not my job. Huh? Of course, I don't see nobody else out there that's doing something and teaching something that's attractive enough to get me to stop what I'm doing. And believe me, I done listened to some people. I gave Royall a chance to show me that he's the best knower. And he failed the first test. First question I asked him, he messed up. You know, you can't claim to have superior knowledge to me if you can't answer the questions that I ask you concerning what you are supposed to be the best knower on. Huh? If your the best knower means have the best understanding. If you understand the Word of God better than me, then you have to be the God over me, the Lord over me. I'd be a fool not to listen to you. But when I start questioning you and you start ducking and start trying to get me to ignore what's there, huh? It's like what the priest did, trying to tell us that God's word didn't mean literally a man supposed to, if he lie down with a man, that's only if he's a heterosexual. Now, I'm supposed to go for that? Not on Friday night. You had to catch me. You had to catch me on another night. I can't go for that tonight. But I wanted you to hear this. You see? You need to hear what people out here falling for. I will talk to him again. I love to talk to people that have different religious doctrine than me. How in the world I'm going to know that mine is right if I don't test it against others? Huh? Of course, I already know mine is right, but, I'm showing you that. I don't shut others down. They're running from me. I'm not running from them. That alone is sufficient to tell you that mine must be right. That's what you should be thinking. Okay? But see, I know what I'm talking about. I know what I'm worshiping. I understand. It's just like if you tell someone who's in grade school, say elementary, that if you ask them, what is 5 square? They don't know. Most of them. You tell them what's 5 square, and they have to learn later that you meant 5 times 5. Right? You see? So, you run into that kind of thing, and you know that it's 25, because you can prove it, you see. And you know the language, you see. Just like, as I was looking up, when I tell you things, it don't do me no good to tell you something if I can't point you to where you can go and see that I told you the truth. Huh? So, I'll show you a point. So, we are people who don't know how to check truth. And I want you to be a people who can check the truth. So I want to go to the first definition. Now, he didn't give you the first definition. But when you understand the first definition, then you would go over here and immediately think about, let me read it to you. Catholic, an adjective, broad or wide-ranging in taste, interest, or the like, having sympathies with all, broad-minded, liberal, you see. But the next one, it says universal in extent. Now, that's the one he gave. All right? Now, what do the scriptures say about strive to enter in at the straight gate? What did it say? For what? Wait a minute. Calm down. keep going. That ain't all it said. It said, for straight is the gate, and narrow is the way that lead to what? But what? Now, what about that other way? Broad is the way, and wide is the gate that leads where? Well, that's Catholic. You see, now you go look it up for yourself. He got the broad way. And look at the state of the nation. What is destruction? What is destruction? It is to do what? To take something apart. That which God have joined together. What? Well, if God joined Adam and Stephen, Adam and Henry, or did he join Adam and Eve? Huh? And said, and for this cause shall a man leave father and mother, and cleave to who? His wife. And they twain shall be what? One flesh. And you see that happen all the time. A man and his wife get together, they produce one flesh, one child, right? And keep on being one flesh in that child, right? In them children. Can two men do that? Can they twain be one flesh? Well, okay. If broad is the way that leadeth to destruction, did you see what he was trying to get us to go for? Huh? Like the rabbi, you know, the conservative rabbi, he called himself. He should have called himself liberal rabbi, shouldn't he? But he tried to get me to accept, what did he say, David was a homosexual? We straightened that up, though, didn't we? And now here you got a Jew and a Christian telling us that homosexuality, some people just say that ain't no choice. That's a orientation. Huh? Well, they playing with words on you. Because when you go someplace new, they have what's called orientation. And they teaching you how to go there. Do you know what that? You know what that is? That's a learned thing. They being taught that. You see. So a lot of times you don't say nothing, and people will tell you the truth, thinking they talking over your head. I like for people to think they talking over my head, just like that judge that told Mr. Zimmerman to report back to jail. I don't know how long he had that knowledge. He gave the man a chance to fess up, didn't he? But he didn't fess up. And he had a passport too, a current one. And he had the money. And it don't take no genius to figure out 100-something thousand in a passport. We can ease out of here. Is that right? So the judge told him, no, you're going to sit up in jail. And, a lot of times people may already know and just giving you a chance to fess up, to see if you're going to be honest with them. Huh? Yeah, that judge wasn't the dumbest judge that you ever want to see. And so, I mean, the point is, when he first started off, what sunk his battleship was when he said, "These a-holes always get in the way." Well, that killed whatever unhostile intent he might try to claim later. You know, when people look at you and refer to you as a-hole, they don't have that ain't no term of endearment. Do you understand? So he ain't gonna be able to live that one down. You can't rehabilitate certain things. You can't rehabilitate. Let's talk about destruction. Destruction. What is it when you take the natural makeup of man and convince him to go against nature? It's like brother warned us about that ethanol. He said ethanol, what will it do? It tear your rubber seals up and whatnot. You thinking, tap him now and tell him that. Give me a. What did you say ethanol will do? Yeah. It has an alcohol blend in it, and it rots out your rubber seals. What will it do?
It'll damage the rubber seals. It'll damage the metal that the mixture's going through. It damages the metal that your fuel is flowing through because it's not oil based. It's water based, isn't it? Ethanol. It's got water. Yeah, it got water in it. So you don't want to leave that sitting up in your tank because it destroys. To destroy is to deconstruct. Do you understand? That's what destruction is. Like construction is to build up. Destruction is to tear down, to break down. You notice the premise of Catholic is to, what he said, they don't marry. They forbid to marry. But did you know that that's in the scripture? I would eventually have gotten him to this. But I wanted to get him there in a way to not to lose him. You know, you take people too fast, you lose them. I wanted him to come to the reality if he's being misled. Now, if he's being misled, I wanted him to come to that reality on his own. You know, sometimes people ain't being misled; they doing the misleading. So I have to find that out as I go with you. As I say, let me show you. I will briefly go to 1 Timothy, the 3rd chapter. I was already there. Oh, praise the due to Allah. It says, 1 Timothy, the 4th chapter, it says, now the Spirit, what is that really saying? You know what Allah means? And that one of the meanings of the name in Arabic is the God. You see? God is a what? Okay. Well, the Spirit Allah speaketh expressly that in the latter days some shall depart from the faith, giving heed to what kind of? To seducing spirits. What's another word for seduce? Beg your pardon? Temptation. Huh? So, give heed. I remember when I was called myself wanting to be a singer. And was sitting down playing the piano and auditioning. And the little fella come over there that I was auditioning with, he come over there and put his hand on my shoulder. And I said, look, he called, his name was Frankie St. John. I think that's his stage name or anything. And I said, look, man, I told you I ain't into that. I'm out of here. And that was the end of my career as that. Too many people was flaky like that in there. That entertainment world is full of that. And so it, I'm not here to practice that with you. I'm here to warn you that God is not going to tolerate you continuing to do that. I'm not going to do you nothing. I would not dare jump on you or beat you up or, go around there, what they say, gay bashing and stuff. You ain't got to be beating up on nobody. God don't need you to do that. And he told me to warn them. So that's what I do. I warn people. So, he says, now the Spirit speaketh expressly that in the latter times some shall depart from the faith, giving heed to seducing spirits and doctrines of what? Doctrines of devils. You're going to stand up here and tell me that God meant heterosexual people going with homosexual people. Don't you do that. But if they already homosexual, it's all right. Wait a minute. Where you get this stuff from? Doctrines of devils. That's what the Holy Quran says. Satan said, he said, my Lord, as you have judged me to be erring, and you done made me to go wrong, I'm going to make evil fast seeming to them. I'm going to have my own doctrine. The doctrines of who? Of devils. Then it says, speaking lies in hypocrisy. You just heard a little of that from your boy, Munir. Sitting up and call himself, and here's some Negro talking about he's God. Oh, is that what you thought of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad? He thought he was God too, Jesus thought he was the Son of God. Moses thought he was God and even put it in the book. As the Lord said to Moses, see, I made you a God to Pharaoh. So was Moses crazy or what? Boy, I wish they'd come in here and talk to me. They talk to people that can't talk back. Huh? So it says, speaking lies in hypocrisy, having their conscience seared with a hot iron. Huh? Then it says, forbidding to what? Well, you can't get married. Well, that's right there. Right there. Forbidding to marry, and they used to didn't eat no fish. Didn't eat nothing but fish on Friday, didn't? That used to be the same. Forbidding to marry and commanding to abstain from meat. Which God hath created to be received with thanksgiving of them which believe and know the truth. You'll notice, you got people that, I don't tell you that you have sinned for eating anything that Allah didn't call a sin. But because of this, you see what they say them steroids and stuff is doing to people? They said that's one of the reasons that man went and shot up all them people. He was on steroids. Look at all these overweight children eating all this beef that's been shot up with that to make them fat quick. And they say, oh, it ain't doing no harm. That's what they said about cigarettes. Nothing ain't doing no harm, but the people who got rich off of them, they made their money. Now they paying the piper a little bit, but they ain't about to go broke. So it was a calculated risk. Man stand up and tell me that God made a mistake. I just listen. He made some men that's supposed to be women. Oh, yeah. You know, he's a woman in a man's body. And you buy that, right? Well, if you would buy some glue, some paper, and some dried leaves, and they put it in a pretty package and tell you now, light this and breathe it. And you say, light up, smoking left is lit. And if I took that same, it's all in the packaging, man. If you take that same cigarette, ball it all up, tear it all up and put it on a plate and light it and get it going good and stick it in somebody's face, they say, get that mess out of my face. But roll it up real pretty and give it to them, the glue and all, and they'll pay you $5 a pack to put it in their mouth and breathe it that way. And you call me dumb. I experienced that. Now, I ain't talking down to you. I used to smoke a pack a day, man. And, from the time, there's very few people that, when I was growing up, that I hung around that didn't smoke, And, so I smoked since I was about 14. And 13 or 14. But, as I matured, and when I say matured, as I came into the knowledge of myself and God and the devil and all of that under the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, I started being more analytical. In other words, I started looking at exactly what I was doing. And I was really a fool. As Solomon said, he'd been everything from wise man to fool. I bear witness. I've been a fool. And but to know foolishness means to understand foolishness is to know how to help others overcome it. You see, you need to think about what you're doing. And when I was coming up, they didn't have that cigarettes. I don't know what's on the side of it now. I think they tell you it causes cancer and some other things. They got a real warning on that. When I was just about through with them, they was just telling you, caution, cigarette smoking may be hazardous to your health. And that was it. That's what was on there. And so, you know, my poor mother-in-law was told to quit smoking. And the doctor, you know, he warned her that she better quit smoking. Only problem was my mother-in-law had never smoked. She had just been around people who smoked. Poor sister. So, I believe she got a case. Matter of fact, I know she got a case. And I think they already put some funds aside for people who got casual cancer. You know, and you think they did you a favor by? Yeah, they did the favor, all right, but they doing themselves a favor because all the people who getting sick from people smoking in a public place and being told by the doctor that they got cancer for cigarettes, that they need to quit smoking, that they ain't never smoked. Actually, it's more harmful to someone who just get it casually than somebody who's smoking. You know, the body has a way of fighting off something that you just dumping on it. Rather than just a little bit of it, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in it, and it sneak up on you and do you more harm. You know, you notice people who drink heavy, they go take a 8-ounce glass of liquor, drink it down, and go about their business. Somebody who ain't never had no drink, take an 8-ounce glass of it and go fall out. Huh? Because they have no resistance. You see? So, I ain't going to hold you no longer. I done held you long enough. But I wanted you to see, I could have took him there and showed him that. Said, now, this is young. Forbidden to marry. We can't marry. And then wasn't going to be truthful. I asked him, do you think that may be one of the reasons why they're messing with youngsters? Messing with men? You know, I know what nature do to you. Nature come down on you, you a man. You don't just shake that off. Huh? No. So, you take care of that. You marry. That's what it is. That's what the book says. Better to marry than to burn. Is that right? Just run around all day burning in desire. No. And marriage is an honorable way of dealing with that, rather than passing the woman around or you just going from this one to that one and that. Marry. And then you keep morals high in your society. Do you understand? All right? So, we have a lot of things that we could share with you. You know, but the problem is you can't hardly get none of these people to listen. Their mind's so messed up. The messenger said it's not getting the truth in your ears that's the hard part. It's getting you to accept and believe it. Yeah, that's what's hard. So, do anybody got any questions they wanted to ask me? Do y'all think that I was too hard on Brother Munir? You think he was too hard on me? Well, you know, I know sometime I ain't mad at nobody. it's just disappointing to hear people sit up on the one hand. How you say you believe in Honorable Elijah Muhammad and then call yourself condemning me because I'm just repeating what you heard him say? Who you think you fooling? Come on now, what's all them YouTube gangsters? What you call them? The what? The YouTube thugs. No, I ain't gonna call them that. The YouTube people who always disagreeing and saying all them things and saying that I'm saying something that I shouldn't, or that I'm a crazy man, or whatever. I mean, what is the point of barking? It's certain times, sometimes you if you live in a neighborhood where people have dogs, they got fences, them dogs pick this 2 and 3 o'clock in the morning barking and going on, and you be trying to think, what in the world wrong with that dog? And then the sad part, when you see the dog out on the street, and you know why most people get bit by pit bulls and stuff like that? It's because they are full of fear. And the animal sense your fear, and he run to you because you trying to get away. He wants you to turn your back. How you gonna defend yourself from something that's attacking you and you got your back turned? He ain't got nothing but his mouth. You got your hands, your feet, and your mouth. What you running for? You'll be surprised what you can do when you stand up and don't let fear master you. The dog can't think. You can. And there's no creature on this earth, including lions, tigers, and bears, that don't fear man in his proper state. And if he don't fear man, he will learn to when he see what happened to him. Like I said, them animals the animal kingdom is proof of that. And don't never pick a fight with somebody who got both fists than you. do you understand? They know things that you don't know, then they can do things that you never dreamed that they could do. You see? So don't, be wise. Never go to war unless you know who you're going to war against. Know how much they got. You see? So I'm waiting on y'all's questions. I'm just biding my time. This is Friday, Now, what about all them people always talking about I could ask him something? Well, now you can ask me what you say you want to ask. See? Okay. Is that true? Well, I guess ain't nobody got nothing they want to ask. Lots of people think that if they don't hear me, then they ain't going to be responsible. It's just like Brother there. If you knew I was here and refused to hear me, you're going to be held responsible for refusing to hear. You see, I'm the kind of fella that's just like the sun. Once you know it's up, you can go on back in there and pull the curtain and go to sleep, but you knew the sun was up out there. The mere fact that I'm standing up here in the public, inviting anybody that thinks that I'm teaching something that's wrong, to come out and show me what it is. Takes away all your excuses. I even offered you money, offered you $20,000, and told you if you find me lying, then I'll give you $20,000 and pay with my life for lying to you. What am I teaching that's a lie? What have I lied to you about? I take you in the book and show you where I'm getting it from. Then how am I lying? No. You're not going to have me to blame. Blame yourself. I was very careful not to take from you and not give you back. Because if you're taking from people and ain't giving them nothing back, that's robbery. I don't care how you look at it, whether you use a gun, or whether you use a knife, or whether you use the Bible or the Holy Quran. If you took from the people and didn't give them nothing back, you robbed them. Let me see here. Maybe I got it wrong. I like to give justice now. Whilst I'm on this subject matter here, I just well to go ahead and see. I like to go right to the root of things. Things don't even want to let me get to where I'm trying to go. Let me see. Let's get that one. Looks like I'm going to have to. They don't want to let me use the dictionary now. Boy, this is something. Didn't they say they got some new worm or something out in the, what you call it? And, on the internet that messed with your computer? Brother Michael. They say they unleashed one on what's the name? On Iran. Messed their centrifuges up. Let's see here. Let me see. To rob is to take something from someone by unlawful force or threat of violence. To steal from. To deprive someone of some right or something legally due. To plunder or rifle a house, a shop, etc. To deprive of something unjustly or injuriously. To remove or cold from a pillar. Let's see here. To commit or practice robbery. Let me see. Well, my definition was better. To spoil. Okay. To steal freely from someone. To overcharge someone. Well, we get the point. So you don't want to, we don't like robbery. That's why I'm careful. I don't want nobody saying, look at that big old house he living in, look at yours. No. That's why I never did do nothing in my own house to justify people trying to claim that. Because I already know the whole earth belongs to me anyway. So you can't get me all excited by a little dinky house. One day we will build beautiful homes and things of that nature. But that's not my biggest concern. If we don't build good character up in ourselves, we'll just be fuel for the fire. Make no difference whatever wickedness that you come in contact with will generally find a welcome host with you if you don't build up good character in yourself. That's what means fuel for fire. Wickedness is like fire. And so you don't want to be fuel for that. Do you understand? And as you follow me, you eat to live, people will look at you and say, that man misleading all them children. Some of them children old as me. So, well, that's all right. You look like children to them. That's good. So, they just don't know. You see. So, if you want to know how well you being preserved, look at them who leave. Then, look at you. Oh, you in this circle, I would try to stay in it if I was you. All right. Since nobody got no questions, I don't have everybody muted out, do it. They can unmute their phone. Well, then, may Allah bless us all and keep us safe and in our right mind. I got a lot of things that we preparing to do for you, but I can't get out here and just go to running off at the mouth about it. But we got things going. So, you will soon see. So, until the next time we talk, which, if it pleases Allah, will be tomorrow at prayer service. And I will let you go. But I want you to remember now, we want to unite the righteous. This is the day of the gathering of the righteous into one brotherhood. That's why we are reasoning with everybody. As it's written, I have other sheep that are not of this fold. I must bring them also, that there may be one sheepfold and one shepherd. You see? So, Allah has given us time. He gave me time to reach everyone that is reachable. That's like that song say, America the Beautiful. Yeah, that song is just about right. I like that part where say, America, God shed His grace on thee. Yeah, that's the one. And give you time to crown your good with brotherhood. Got to give us time to unite and get it together. That's a beautiful song. I think that's the one we're going to close with.
I used to love to hear Ray Charles sing this song. I can't sing it like him, but I hope I can do it justice, because it is a beautiful song about the continent of Africa. Oh, beautiful. liberating night. Oh, more than fair. There's a country love and mercy more than life. America, America, may God thy glory find. All that be stumbling and of every gain divine. When we were small, we used to sing it like this. Oh, beautiful, gracious God, for him golden waves of grace. Whose purple mountains, you know they stand just like great majesty. Up above the fruited plain, I'm talking about America, sweet America. You know, God has shed his grace on thee to give you time to crown all your good in one great brotherhood. From Atlantic to the Pacific, from sea to shining sea. Oh, America, I love you, America. My God, shed grace on thee to crown your rule with one great brotherhood. From sea to a shining sea. Oh, Lord, I thank you, Lord, for seeing shining sea.
I remember the Honorable Elijah Muhammad was asked, where's the promised land? He said, the place you're in right now. The continent of North America ain't never disobeyed Allah. Ain't nothing wrong with that song. Ain't my fault because you misunderstood what was being sung about. I mean, it's like when how many of y'all saw The Day the Earth Stood Still? You remember when he said we came to help the earth? And they thought that he was talking about them. No. The time has come that thou shouldest destroy those who destroy the earth. Ain't too far from the truth. So just keep on thinking that you know so much. And you're always quick to call yourself condemning somebody. You ain't got no condemnation for me. You see? I remember the messenger said, where there ain't no decent women, it's because there ain't no decent men. Well, America done failed. That's because the men ain't about nothing. The people that's on the continent is what make the continent. Ain't no evil place, and it ain't no good place. All places is good if the people is good that's there. And all places is evil if the people that's there is evil. one thing about me, whatever position I take, I'm not afraid to stand out here and speak up for it. I offer you a forum to come and disagree. You sit up out there, as the young people say, you punked out. At least I stand up like a man and say what it is that I feel that I'm right about. And I say like a man what I feel that you are wrong about. And I even give you the opportunity to straighten it out if I got it wrong. It's my fault because you won't speak up. That's your fault. You know, you ask people. I ask people. I ask my family. Is there a problem? Well, and if you don't say nothing, well, okay, ain't no problem. I can't fix it if you don't tell me it's broke. Do you understand? So, you know, I'm not in the business going around and see how many people I can hurt their feelings. You don't believe it, you go talk to people that deal with me on a regular basis, and you won't find none of them complaining that I don't go around purposely hurting nobody's feelings. And because I don't, sometimes people, they get the impression that they can just do whatever to me. Don't you make that mistake. So, if I want to stop you from having trouble, I get on you, tell you about it. You know, when I stop telling you about it, it's because, you know, I'll wait and put you in Allah's hand, let Him fix you. That's the way you do that. So, if I tell you things that you need to do, if you're wise, you will do that. If you're not wise, you will do it your way. This ain't no day to do it your way. I'm just telling you. Your way ain't going to get you what you need. I should say it ain't going to get you what you want. So, let us let you go. We got time to form one brotherhood here. That's what I'm here offering you a way out. Come while you have time. Join with me. And Allah and His mercy will join with you. Allah, assalamu alaikum.